one thing that I want all of you to know, and if you are using a continuation entry model, it says continuation. What does it mean to continue something? It means that there have been an initial. Most of you do not even analyze the pair because you heard continuation. You simply just begin to look for a continuation entry model without knowing where price was coming from and where price is going. That is not the way to trade. It says continuation. It did not say just come randomly and start doing whatever you want to do. Continuation has a beginning. It means that it started from somewhere and you are following it up with where it is going. So if you do not follow this procedure, you cannot get it right. That's just the truth. You cannot get it right. You need to understand where price is coming from initially and where price is going. So let me start from this jump 25 because I see some people took the trade. So I would love to see what's happening on that pair. Firstly, from the 4 hours time frame. So I hope you can hear me clearly and hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can hear you. Your screen is clear. So.
Alright. So for the 4 hours time frame, this is a potential uptrend. These are a series of externals. I don't have to take much time drawing them out. So the recent external that got taken out, which is this one. So we'll move over to, this is a change of character. So we move over to the 30 minutes time frame to draw our internal. Now when there is a change of character, the internal starts from the most recent leg down to the second following. If this one has not formed before, then it would have been the most recent two inside here. So you know the rules. We had this break of structure here, structural liquidity, which qualified this as an internal, and we also had this one, structural liquidity for a book structure, which also qualifies it as an internal. So this was the disruption and this was the inducement. So we're looking for a potential sell opportunity, and I told you the qualities to buy or sell at a valid supply zone. It needs to sweep a structural liquidity and create an FVG. The inducement has to be within the 50% level, or else allow price to take the point of interest out before entering, or even if it plays out from there, could continue with the continuation. Then this guy got taken out. Then I told you people that we have a continuation model for reclamation. Now it showed a bit and then it came above and it created a reclamation. This is a reclaimed block. I know you know why. I said this could be it, but as you know, your SL should be above here. But to be safe, price created this one here, making it easier for you, but also making you know that you could get a missed entry. So this could be your entry, because even if you put it here, your SL is above there. So this is your entry. Price sold for a while before taking the point of interest out. When you see a pattern like this, this is a reclaim block. This still happened here. It occurred here. The price created another one. So even if you put it here or you put it here, your SL has to be above here. So whichever. And then price later what bought. And then it bought. It flipped above here. That's where I think somebody said he took a loss here. I will tell you why he took that loss. Now listen. Now after what I said before is, when price creates a new sell buy opportunity, the previous one becomes invalid. Now first of all, buying at this point was invalid if price has not flipped this other high over here. Now price took out this high. Why did he take out this high? It's like a flip, and that is why this point of interest held, because it served as what? As a flip zone to this is a valid supply zone that held. Anyhow you see it, this thing held before it took it out. The only difference is the risk to reward of somebody that probably entered here. He won't get anything from it before it will be taken out. But price created that pattern above. That should tell you that there is a possibility of that point of interest above to hold, because this is like reclamation continuation. It happens in two ways. Price can take out a point of interest, create a reclaim block for a continuation after giving a reclaim block. This is what I mean. This can be the point of interest. Price, let's use this one. Price takes it out, comes back, reclaims it, comes back, breaks structure, takes this high out, then reclaim this high. So this diagram is wrong. Then reclaim it again, which was what happened here. I think somebody asked that question and I told him, he said, which of these are correct? I told him that both of them are correct. If you always read the question and answer, there are so many things that will help you there. If you read it, then you understand this thing. It happens so many times on GBP USD, GBP JPY as well. So now this entry held as reclaim block. This one here. Why did he hold? It's part of my post for today. This is a valid flip zone. Price took out this high. This was his supply, and he bought from reclaim block. Now I think somebody hit an SL here. I will tell you why. I told you people before, I said if price should break structure, you do not listen and write. Your break of structure should not happen in the week of the candle. It should be inside the FVG. It should be inside the FVG. Look at the difference between this thing and this thing that happened here. It should be inside the FVG. Now this thing now occurred in this week. That is why this did not hold. And meanwhile, a buy opportunity already started from here. What you were looking out for was just a continuation, which is fine too. But what you should know is you have to look for point of interest that the break of structure should happen inside the week, inside the FVG. This is synthetic. They don't have any pointer cursor or anything. They don't have that in there. They don't have it. What they only have is this arrow. They don't have anything like that. They don't have it. So you have to manage this one I'm using. Now, price book structure here, and this thing occurred. Somebody even pinned this thing down. For the fact that somebody even pinned this thing down, that is what is making me very, very surprised. Somebody pinned this thing down, and he wrote where price broke with the week. He wrote invalid POI. You saw it with your eyes, and then you now put your entry here. Why would it hold? This kind of entry is entry that you want to just maybe open more positions, and you don't use SL. You are still maintaining whatever SL. Your trade might be at break even, and then you are maintaining this SL. It's just like you want to like keep stacking or holding position. Some stacking people do are at random point of interest. That's why some of them do not use SL. So price book this structure inside this week. Look at somebody. I've tagged the message in the general group. Somebody used their time to do this. Whichever way, I'll just stop here. But I believe that you learn. You are still learning, so anyhow, you learn from the losses and you still make adjustments. Moreover, if you want to use the 30 minutes time frame, use it. If you want to use the 1 hour, use it. If you want to combine the two, whatever you see to, it's your luck. But what I'm saying is price needs to be coming from somewhere before you want to continue. It is called continuation model. It's not an initial entry model. It is continuing what has happened before. That being said, no strategy, including the ones that we are trading, has 100% win rate. But you would see difference, meaning you would have better risk to reward, better consistent profitability trading if you're doing it correctly from here than any other one. So whichever way, let's just move over to Forex space. I've said it, those that were not in the last class, so you did not take notes. For a point of interest to be called a valid demand zone, for you to buy directly from that point of interest, number one, it has to have be, if it's like for buy, but sometimes just take your losses like that. If it's for buy, it has to be in the discount zone, which means that what this inducement, for example, like we have let me just draw it again. This has to be in the discount zone within the 50% level or below. This place has to have an imbalance, which is an FVG. It needs to sweep structural liquidity. It needs to have a break of structure. It needs to have an inducement. It needs to be in line with the trend. That qualities, all of them has to form. But like I told you, like this VIX 25 now. Okay, this jump 25. If one fails, you know what next. So it's obvious that price may probably come below this, even this one that has occurred here. Price might come below it, and then reclaim this inducement. This is one leg inducement. Reclaim it. How to know if this guy created structural liquidity before breaking the structure? No. So it can reclaim it or not. But for better win rate for mitigation blocks, it could come from price flipping inducements, like all of this, all the structural liquidities from here too, because those ones are qualified supply zone. They were previous strong points. A break of structure that occurred like this is different from the one that occurred when price took out a strong high. You know what it means for a point to be a strong high, and it got taken out. So let's check Forex pairs. You can also be asking your questions, any question that cannot come now, like we cannot meet up to answer today. Synthetic is better, easier for beginners. The people are your narrative to you. If you know how to trade, there is no way that is hard, there is no way that is simple. That synthetic you think is easier for beginners, as you wrote. Both advanced trader are taking maximum SL from there. There is nothing like easier in this trading. Everything is complex. There's nothing like easier there. If you took a loss in that VIX 25, and you don't say you should stick to 30 minutes, that person, if you took a loss in that jump 25, that is it. I've told you what should happen next. Either price should create a new internal, or it's just going down to that particular internal below. If people backtested this thing, most of you did not do the assignment, but I'm sure that people that backtested it saw the win rate of mitigation blocks on jump 25, and those are previous price action. It cannot change today. Let me draw a template of all the entry models. breaker block, when price takes out a zone, could be, I would say could be inducement anyway, because inducement is not a change of character. Okay, but let's say the failure of an order block or the failure of a zone, let me put it that way, with a reaction that could be overlooked. I mean, a reaction that could be overlooked, something like this. Wanted to buy and then book. With series of momentum candles, could be causes on the news, but I do not believe so much in breaker blocks, because reclaim block makes breaker block invalid most times, but some pairs respect it. But I do not trade breaker blocks. When price takes out a zone with no significant reaction before the failure, it creates a breaker block. If this is a buy point of interest, if price takes it out with no significant reaction before the failure, I don't say after the failure, before the failure, it creates a breaker block. Where does the breaker block comes from? It comes from that particular zone that was taken out. But the sad news about this is that this high, if there's an FG here, price would rather in some pairs use mitigation block than this. Now, if price takes out this zone with the body of the candle, and there is a mitigation block here, and you know that pair too well that you respect mitigation block, I will advise you, if it's trying to come up, if it comes to this point, it is best you use mitigation block first before trying to enter with reclaim block. The reason is because how can your reclamation confirmation for continuation be created? It is created when this mitigation block fails. I'm talking in an instance where there is a mitigation block above and you're considering should you buy or sell because price is coming above. You're considering, is it reclaimed block or mitigation block? Are we buying or selling? The best answer is this is based on the pair you're trading. You take the mitigation block first. Some pairs will respect it and keep selling. So far it closed with the body of the candle, but the failure of this mitigation block gives you, and it breaks structure, breaks this high, gives you a continuation model. Let's say it does something like this for a reclaimed block. How? This is it. This is where your new entry comes in for your continuation. This is like price using structural liquidity for reclamation, but everybody still maintains this low as their protected low. Why? It could roam about everywhere here until this low is taken out. This point of interest is still valid. how to know when to use reclamation. Price did not create any sell point of interest both here and above, and it closed with the wick of the candle. For you to be extra careful, you could allow price to tap on this place, reclaim it, and go above. Then you could follow up with mitigation block depending on the pair, or if it creates something like this, even if this place was not a mitigation block but it has a break or structure like this. When I mean was not a mitigation block, taking out this thing, there was no FVG here, but it broke a low like this and gave this break or structure. This is still your entry for confirmation to follow up. Simple as that. I do not trade breaker blocks, so I can't really emphasize so much on it because I don't know it that well. But a breaker block is a failed order block, a failed demand or supply zone, whether invalid demand or invalid supply zone. When a zone fails with impulsive move before the failure, it's considered as a breaker block. But a reclaimed block is formed at the failure of a breaker block. Then let's do the next one. Sweep break inducement SBI. I don't really trade it, but I can continue from where price stop. How do I mean? Because this has to do with price sweeping a structural liquidity. Let's assume this is structural liquidity or an internal itself, but I should take it out. As the name implies, sweep break inducement. Inducement has to be within the 50% level. If it's not within there, then allow price to come there, either reclaim the SBI or it should go and you can follow up. Like if it does something like this for tapping here, whether the SBI is correct or not, and it breaks this high, you can follow up from here as reclaimed block. The rules of this SBI are just so many, like they have rules to follow. Your inducement has to be within the 50% level and so on and so on. I don't really know all of them because I do not trade it. So that is it on the SBI. I think they need your inducement within the 50% level. Sweep is compulsory. The sweep could also occur like this. It also occur like this. The candles type of sweep where price there is a candle here and then price closes. SBI is not a continuation model. Next candle closes above it and the next candle closes below it and next candle closes above it. This is also a sweep. This is a candle type of sweep, but in the lower time frame, this one now is too many candles. It can be like 1 time frame, 5-minute time frame. It could be too many candles. So I cannot tell you which entry model to stick to. I told you so many entry models. Today about 4, 5, though I did not explain so much. But you will choose the one you want. That's why you were taught so many. That's why I gave that assignment that so many people did not do. That's why I gave it. If you have done that assignment, then you will know pairs to trade and the entry models they respect. So continuation from here, sweep, break, and inducement, SPI. Then flip zones. Flip zones could occur even with mitigation when a strong point gets taken out. A major strong point, whether previous strong point like that. Let me check something on this good. Example of flip zone entry in this gold was, that's why I was not even scared, or scared, whatever. I was not concerned too much about this particular point of interest because I know it is going to hold. First of all, and I actually just risked so much, kind of. So first of all, this was the point where price was ranging, creating what, resistance above here. Remember last week where price was struggling to break free this point. Now this was a major high that we were taking buys, and in return back sell, return back from, and then price managed to take out this high. On taking out this high, it created this point of interest, which price would have most likely come to. But why did it not come to it? I told you, I said, if price creates a new continuation above, you are following the order flow. When price does not wait, as it is moving, you are going with it. When it created this new guy, your work is take the new guy and forget about the rest. When it got to this new guy, it bought. Why? The reason is because this was the recent point of interest for continuation. If this guy had failed, then this one will not hold. Something happened here. When was that? 30 minutes time frame on Friday. First of all, this thing here is wrong. If you were thinking that this was an entry, first of all, and you took a loss here, this thing was wrong. This kind of FVG, see, at least go above. What's this one? That one is wrong. It was not even counted as a loss. Where a loss came in, where the one I am aware of, is this break of structure inside this FVG here was a loss. And then I told you people, I said, if one fails, the rest will not hold. And you wanted to try to know if I am lying or not. Somebody took a trade from here, from the 1 hour time frame. Is it 1 hour? Which time frame was that? I don't even know. Let me just put it on 1 hour to see. When one fails, price is trying to create an internal. Do you know what this sweep stuff, this whole thing indicates? It's trying to tell you that we are changing to create, the qualities of an internal is sweep something, then create structural liquidity, then break structure. That's what it was trying to do. So price took out this point of interest. There was absolutely no need buying from here. I don't know if you made money from this little move, but it was really uncalled for. The SL already happened. Don't know what you can make from here, because if you had put your SL below here, then you should be having a loss. If you put it here, you have just how many weeks to reward move he did? 2 point something. This is a loss. what you should be looking out for from Monday is if price is trying to reclaim this point, which it looks like, fine. But I am not going to trade this thing as reclaimed block. I would rather want to see price give some kind of move first to tell me that it is not a ranging market. Continuation model does not work in the ranging market. All these trades you have been catching, none of them were from the ranging market. The only time that we got trades that look like ranging market was even from reclamation, and price has not started to range that time where we got this first entry. This one was from flip, the last point of interest before price took out the disruption. But the second was from reclamation. After I broke structure, broke the high, reclaimed this point, which it created the next one, which did not break structure. That was where the ranging started from, like this, which it later broke this point and it reclaimed this point. Price should be coming from somewhere before you are trying to catch that continuation. The reason why I took this buy was because what? It reclaimed this low, and that's why I was buying. If this buy had failed, I wouldn't have tried to buy again. And then we had another one here. This was a low probability continuation. The reason is because the break of structure, market structure shift, occurred with the dual structural liquidity kind of. So, but it held. As a matter of fact, it held. And one reason why it held was because price created engineered liquidity to the point of interest, also making it nice for the point of interest to hold. This is an FEG. And moreover, I told the people, the engineered liquidity is simply price coming down to a point of interest and rejecting with a wick. There is no engineered liquidity as rejection with body. It has to be a major push, like price rejected immediately, but it did not tap your point of interest. And price later came back to this. And the next one was this one. The next one that would have happened would have been this flip zone. The one that flipped this high was this one. I was waiting for it, but price, I think it was news. It came to this point. It's supposed to just tap here and buy, but it did not. And besides, I want price to at least clear one of these things. It should close this FVG, maybe with another news candle or something, which I don't know will happen, if it will happening or not. This is like an all-time high. But if it had tapped here, then move better, but it did not. So when one fails, the other does not hold. Stop using indicator to look for an FVG. Why are you stressing yourself? It's not necessary. Stop looking for shortcuts. You are even confusing yourself. Why are you using indicator to look for FVG? Why? These things are visible to you. Indicator will give you more than. Do you know how many FVGs are from this low down to this high? Do you know how many FVGs are there? If you want to make profit, you have to simplify your approach. You're not coming to the market. Maybe would I say you're trying to would I say form for the market. It doesn't care about you. You're coming there to make money. Putting FVGs everywhere. This FVG, this is FVG, this FVG. You will see a lot of them. So how then will you know the one that works? We don't just trade random FVGs. We trade FVGs that have market structure shifts in them. There should be a break of structure in that FVG. That is a mitigation block. Price has to mitigate that FVG. Okay, the current price action of gold has done this thing before, where it just swept structural liquidity, but it did not create structural liquidity, and I think it held as reclamation, which is trying to do there. You trade from recent price action, what recent the previous price action has done to qualify what the recent will do. So I'm not really certain, but it looks like it wants to reclaim this, and by Monday we know. But I won't trade that Monday because I want to see what happens here first. I need a clear price movement. So we are going to be stopping here. I wanted to check something on GBP USD before I end. The class is recorded. I gave reason why we did not record the other class. I said it was like a revision, and would I say there was like a miss of somewhere or something. So that's why. Any question that cannot, Sparrow, are you there? That cannot come today, should go to the question mentor before it gets closed. I think it's already 3, so I think the question place will be closed now. Let me take questions, please.
How many questions?
Just 5.
Alright.
Step 200 is also a good pair. Okay, I think few of my private students got they got
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah. Let me
Okay,
check.
Phantom now, you're muted.
Just give me a minute. Okay, let him ask that question. It's fine.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually asked the question on the question for mentor, but I will prefer to see the live example while you answer the question. So the question is on the continuation entry model.
If they have asked, why not allow somebody that have no asked in that place to ask? But it's fine, Sha. Don't worry. Go on.
I just want to see the live example. I don't know if you get me. So it's actually on the continuation entry model. That's on the mitigation block. So Sparrow actually asked the question on the last class, but I didn't think you gave the definite answer. He asked where should we put our stop loss, because most of the time I see your stop loss is actually still inside the FVG, and sometimes it's still below the FVG. So I just want to know where is the definite place whereby we can put our stop loss, and when price hits it out, we won't say.
Are you hearing me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
To you, yeah.
So I want to know where is the definite place we can put the stop loss, so that when price hits it out, it won't be we can't say it is as a result of tight stop loss. It will just be that the setup is actually invalidated. So like the most ideal place we can place our stop loss when using the mitigation block.
It actually depends on the pair. Like pairs like US 30 need space in their SL. Sometimes I put my, like this one, I put my SL below this. This is where the FVG ends. Let me use this. This is where the FVG ends, this point here. I put my SL just below it a bit. And sometimes, like this particular one, I put my SL below this one. There are some that it's just somehow for me to put my SL here. Who am I risking? Except I'm using 50%, then I can put my SL here. But this particular one, I put my SL below this because I believe that the mitigation stopped here. If I take a loss, it's fine. This one that the mitigation happened here, this break happened here, I put myself below here. It all depends on where the mitigation ended and where you are entering from. If you're entering from 50%, you can put it below here. You're entering with the full candle, you can put it just below where the mitigation ended. In some cases like this is where the mitigation happened, you can put it here. If the mitigation had happened here, I won't put my SL here. I can show you so many of my charts. I did the same thing. This is where the mitigation happened here. I put my SL here. So on and on, that's just it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Unye, you've been unmuted. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. UNYE, you've been unmuted.
If you've been unmuted, please talk. If you're not available, Sparrow, please ask somebody else.
Is that pretty sure?
Good afternoon. Please, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is actually this morning I was trying to analyze BTC.
Okay.
And then where
Is it just me or the person is not here again?
I think their network is messy.
please, I don't know if you can go to your chat.
Call the
BTC.
next person, please. There's one advice I want to give to people that are learning how to trade. A very good advice. Pairs like BTC most times do not respect mitigation block. Why do I say so? Now that particular pair is moved based on I think 40% of fundamental than technical. BTC crypto pairs as a whole. So it is best that if you're trading that pair, you are trading it down from disruption, you catch it down from that point than trying to follow up from, because what is FVG to when BTC wants to, like, you can wake up in the midnight. I heard that there was a news out of nowhere. So what is a little FVG like this? What's a little FVG like this compared to when BTC wants to move? That's my advice for you.
Okay.
Whichever way, this is the BTC. So what happened? Call
Mitchell,
the next person,
no,
I
she's
beg.
been
Mute
unmuted.
the person and call the next person.
Mitchell, can you hear me? You've been unmuted.
Call the next person, saying the person is not available.
Austin, you've been unmuted.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. So sorry to cut you. This is an example of this confirmation stuff I talked about. I told you it could happen like price respecting a zone and then coming back to reclaim it. Something like this. This thing over here is a reclamation with um a reclamation that occurred with structural liquidity. Something like this. An example of it. Please ask your question. Sorry about that.
Um, there's basically not a question. So while I was backtesting GBP/USD to be precise, around September 2024, that period.
Mhm.
I don't know, but like I found it hard to follow the structure. Like while I was, let me say, I do my analysis, I mark out my inducement, my disruption, then after price reclaim it and whatnot. As I'm going with the continuation model, I find it hard to like keep up with the structure, maybe what the inducement next is. And I don't know, maybe if one of these days you just like make out time, and maybe do the back testing for us, maybe just for a short period, probably like a month span, so we can also see your thought process as the market plays out. I know it's something you can do
That is
for us,
going to be
please.
by the end of the class now. It's already there. That's on top down analysis. We're going to do it by the end of the class. And also, you could help yourself. Any pair that looks confusing to you, it's just best you stick to something else than confusing yourself.
But I mean, it's GBP/USD, so
It doesn't matter what
like
it
they are one
is.
of.
Doesn't matter what it is. Now, the reason why I'm coming to this pair is because somebody took a loss and the person wrote that he took a loss, and I want to know why that person took that loss, because the look at, let me tag it in the setup and analysis. The best I know is you can take a loss, but you cannot take 3 losses in a row trading what I taught you if you're doing it correctly. And I can challenge anybody here that probably wants to try it. If you do what I tell you correctly or you take 3 losses in a row, then what I told you, it's not working. Now that person got 3 losses in a row, and I am here to analyze that same pair. I don't know if the 3 losses was from week 25, but I just want to like dispute that. First of all, this is I have already gotten my structure from the 4 hours. I wouldn't want to waste your time. Okay, what I came here to do is like just show you a few of the internals and all. I don't know that person. Please hope you are here and you're listening. So this was the inducement price created over here. Permit me to shift this off so that it could see what we're doing. Now I told you that most synthetic pairs actually buy or sell directly from inducement, but I do not advise you to trade directly from inducement. But if price takes out inducement, or the inducement is playing out, you could use continuation to follow up, most especially if price takes out that inducement first. But this should be done after you have back tested to know if this pair respects reclamation. So this is an inducement that got taken out, and then price created the what I told you, break or structure, like a reclamation of that same point of interest. Your entry, as far as I know, should be, this is better off as your entry, okay, or whatever you want to pick out from here, but I know this here is your entry. And then I prefer 30 minutes time frame, but let me just use this one. Now if when I will say price hits SL on a pair is if that pair doesn't do at least 1 to 3 weeks to reward. I could say price hits SL. But if a pair does at least 1 to 3 and later reversed, from that point is your bid level. They say the standard risk to reward for everybody. Some people even do 1 to 1, 1 to 2, but I don't regard that. 1 to 3 is my own standard. If it does 1 to 3, it is fair to you. The rest is your choice. So price did 1 to 3.64 fair, and then he took out the this was the disruption over here, which is invalid to sell directly from it. Why? Because it's not a valid supply zone. I told you what is a valid supply zone. And then price broke structure inside here. Let me show you very well. A broke structure inside here, which gave us an entry from here that triggered just immediately. Look at it here. It triggered immediately. Look at it. Okay. So we had a buy from there. Why? Because that's the same entry I got on good. The same thing. Price flipped that point of interest just immediately. It took out a strong high. Despite that disruption is not a valid supply, doesn't mean it's not a strong high. So it played out up to this point, which is 1.5 something, and price later came back and completely cleared the FVG. Good. And then it continued, snubbed this, it created this one, obeyed it. I'm coming to that person that was selling. No, it's because of you I'm here. Got this one, it created here and he bought from there. And then what again? It created this one from here to here, which failed. Now, and I told you, once one fails, it won't obey any other one again. It will start retracing down to the inducement or something. So this one failed. Why did I put my SL here? Told you. At this point, it invalidates for me. Then started selling structural liquidity. This is structural liquidity. This is structural liquidity, and this is inducement. And you are not supposed to sell. It's better you go and look for another pair, because selling inside this thing where price is coming to the inducement doesn't make any sense. It's like counter trading. When I dropped that PDF, what did I write? I say I do not support counter trading. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where that person sold. I think, is he here? Should be here. Now, why should you sell at this point? Why should you sell at this point? Why? I do not. Even what he should have been looking out for is seeing if price reclaims this point for a buy, not a sell. Why should you? I tagged the person. Why should you sell at that point? The point where you're supposed to buy, you are selling. The point you're supposed to sell, you are buying. I don't know. You were selling now. Is it not the same person? He said it was VIX 25 sell. Of course, it's you I'm talking to now. It was VIX 25 you were selling. It was week 25 you were selling. That's what I'm correcting you. So the sale was totally invalid. What he should be looking for is even a buy. I do not trade counter. Selling after an inducement has been taken out is telling me that inducement is disruption, no matter how far an inducement is. So further, after price created inducement, it keeps creating structural liquidity, and it has not created any inducement yet. Everything there is one leg, no matter how far it is. No matter how far it is, the best you can do is just keep following the continuations and keep going, no matter how far it is. Inducement is inducement. Disruption is this point. This is the next disruption. This guy here. This is the next disruption. I've taken too long. I want to stop here. The next question, please.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, speaker.
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Sorry, I was trying to set up my microphone.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a question. So I was trying to do some studies about how to spot a valid demand and supply zone, but I'm having, sometimes it confuses me. Can you please, on the chart, like, show some quantities, like the chart, like, show some valid supply and demand zones, please?
Those things are hard to spot. That's why I see that people that buy directly from there, they don't get lucky. Price always flips them. But I'm just going to randomly show you anyone.
Okay.
You see most of the invalid down valid. That's why I see that this their XBI setup. When you have one entry today, it can take like a month to have another valid one. That is why. But this is like an example of how a valid um supply should look. It has to have a sweep like this, and then it has to have a fair value gap, which is the gap between this candle that swept and the third candle, which is this one. Then this is your supply zone. So this quality is always hard, and also it needs what's the name, inducement at the 50% level of where the break of structure occurred. It needs an inducement there. So that's why they have different models to trade, because when you don't see this thing or you keep saying the invalid one, it's telling you do not sell or buy from that place. Just like that gold I told you the early time we started this class, I told you that gold is not going to sell from that disruption, and many of you do not know why. The reason is because it was not a valid supply zone, and just as I said, that was what happened. Gold flipped it. It took it out, and then I used the flip to buy. So when it's invalid, you cannot buy or sell from there. Instead, allow the pointer. Even if price later respects it, fine. If it gives you continuation, you can follow up.
Okay.
Sparrow, who is the last person?
This, Glory, you muted. This is responsible. Glory, you've been unmuted. Victor, you've been muted. Hello, Victor, you've been muted. Sorry, can Hello, can you hear me?
You can omit another person if the person is not there.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, ask your question.
Okay, please, I want to find out this reclamation block. It's looking somehow like QRO, something like that.
I don't know what
What's
is
the difference? And can you please throw a
QML
bit
is
small
SBI
light
now.
on the confirmation for
We have not got into confirmation by the upper week coming. Next week is for question and answer and revision. The upper week coming, and that's the
man?
last week of our class. Now, SBI,
Okay, okay, okay,
QML, all of them are, people just rename it whatever they like. I don't
okay,
know.
okay.
So the difference between SBI and reclamation is that SBI needs inducement. SBI, sweep, break, and inducement. It needs inducement. Reclamation does not. If a point of interest gets taken out, reclamation does not need any inducement here before you, even if it gives you inducement, fine. If it doesn't, you can enter it from here or from here, but it still has to be above here. But if it doesn't, you can, if it does, you can still take it. If it doesn't, you can still take it. Okay, but if it gives like this, it has turned to
Okay.
SBI, not reclamation anymore, because reclamation is simply price failing a
Okay.
zone. Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. How about QMR? QMR and reclamation, is they different,
I just told you
or is
that
it just the names
QMR,
that they are in there?
SBI, QML, all of them are the same. People are just giving it names. That's what I just explained to you now, and I used
Okay,
SBI to
okay,
explain.
that's all. Don't worry, don't stress. It's okay. Okay, don't stress. Don't stress. It's okay. You can move on. Thank you very much. I get it now.
Sparrow, is that all?
Yeah,
Afternoon.
that's
What did
Hello.
you say? What did you say?
I said that was the fifth person, but someone is picking up who was unmuted, but
Hi, good
they did not
afternoon.
respond.
Let's
So
Hello.
it's up to you to take the question or to just end the call. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, it's the 5 questions are done, but someone who
Oh, let me
requested, but
take
I think
question
they were not
from
available at
this
the time, but they're
general
trying to ask the
discussion.
question
This
now.
the few persons that wrote their question. So somebody said, please, why did you not use the initial break as inducement instead of as structural liquidity? I'm going to highlight the question and I'm going to write what pair. If you're fast enough, we'll come back to that. Let me just see a few questions that were written down. Which pair are you talking about? This person. And if you want to make money, you have to reduce the pairs you trade. Today you are trading this one, tomorrow you are trading this one, next tomorrow. It's even stressing because each pair, you, if you're doing it correctly, each pair you analyze, you have to do like a top down analysis, starting from the range down to, the step is, first of all you have to check the range of the pair. From range, you draw all your externals from the 4-hour time frame. From the externals, you draw all your internals inside those externals before you get um your recent tools, which is one as your inducement and the second as your disruption. So imagine every time you want to analyze, you have to start from range, higher time frame structure, checking the order for all of that. It's wasting time. But as gold is there now, we all know where gold stopped last week. We don't have to start from 4 hours again. We know where it is going and we know where it's coming from. So just save yourself the stress and find a pair or two and focus on. That's all. The person that said Sparrow cannot unmute all of you. I don't know why you are taking it upon the boy. I was the one that gave him this position. He did not impose it on himself. Stop making him this boy feels sad when people do all of these things. He cannot unmute everybody. Please. That's why that question place is there. It's not like people that we are hearing their voice that are very special. You can write your question. I reply since this class started till today. I can put it up to anybody that all the questions that has been asked on this question place has never been ignored. I don't ignore questions because I see them as the step you need to grow. So if I cannot answer you here, if I answer everybody, we will sleep here now. Please leave Sparrow out of this. Ask your question in the question place and I will answer you. It's not compulsory we hear your voice, please. I beg in the name of God, please. Thank you. I'm waiting for that person that said, why did you not use the okay, which he said VIX 25. So where exactly are you talking? Okay. Okay. I see what he's saying now. Okay, there was a break of structure here. Oh, okay, my bad. So this was no. Hold up. This was where the last break occurred. No, I think is the one that is wrong. There was one here down to this point. And there was no break of structure again. No, I'm right. There was no break of structure again here. That would have made this place be disruption. This guy did not occur inside here. I don't know if I'm getting the point that you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know the place this person is talking about. I don't know. Another person is asking if he can sell here, where obviously you just saw somebody took a loss selling from here, which is even the recent. If the thing would have worked, wouldn't it work here? What's special about this place? That's the problem. People don't even want to even take what I'm teaching you. I don't know the person. Are you talking about this point? There was no break or structure here. I don't know. There is no break or structure here. So I'm correct. This is inducement, this is disruption. I think it's talking about the buy scenario. The buy scenario, this is the only valid internal we have, because it created structural liquidity before breaking structure, and after that every other break or structure that has been occurring has no structural liquidity inside of them before breaking structure. This guy doesn't have, this one doesn't have, this one doesn't have. So where are we supposed to call inducement here? All of these things are structural liquidity. This is the last valid internal that was created. These are, I told you, structural liquidities do not have structural liquidities inside of them. All of this. So where is he talking about? I don't know. Can the person raise up? I just want to clear that before I end the call, please. I've told you, it's even better this guy gets reclaimed than this thing that people are trying to do is sell here. I'm telling you the truth. Because look at this thing, is trying to like buy from this point. So it's better off it gets reclaimed than trying to sell from here. It will not hold. This would have, if this thing wanted to sell, what happened to this place here? I don't know. The person is not here. I have to stop. I have to stop. Okay, we have to stop here. I expect the video in like an hour or two. I have to compress it then. So we have to stop here. See you in the next class on Monday. Throughout next week, we are going with question, answers, and revision. Write down your questions so you do not forget them. Ask them, the ones that you cannot wait till next week. Ask them in the group. Okay. Ask them in the Equation for Mentor group, and have a lovely weekend and take care.